hello. Thank God it's Friday. A very warm welcome to you. Good morning. My name is Princess Cassie, and this is Wake Up Nigeria. Of course, we're reaching you live from our SRO TV studio here in London, the world's capital city. What is happening in Nigeria? We have quite a lot. And I know how they like to do some more gossip here. Ha! Matters the day ground and rising matters. As a matter of fact, there is trouble in Kanu. Wetin worry people dey call problem. Wahala dey Kanu. As I'm talking to you now, the Federal High Court, they won't do Sanusi anyhow. But anyway, the governor insisted that Sanusi remains the emir of Kano State, and has even ordered, the other emir Bayero to be evacuated from the mini palace. These are some of the stories we'll be looking at today, and of course, on a very sad note, the outbreak of cholera. What is happening? Is this something we're not getting right? And I'm even more scared that schools, the school children, what if this thing gets to them, the children, the little ones, how are we supposed, to control it at that point? These are some of the issues we have that we'll be talking about today. And of course, we'll be talking about, River State, what's happening there, the back and forth between Fubara and, of course, the ex-governor, Wike. These are some of the trendy stories today, but quickly I'm going to bring in Mary. Mary is already seated this morning. Mary, how are you?
I'm fine. Good morning. Good morning,
Good
Princess.
morning. How is Abuja today?
Abuja is fine as usual. Abuja is cool. Just the incident that occurred yesterday. A soldier stabbed someone to death. So it happened around Kubo area in Abuja.
Hmm.
It's a place called Spare Parts, Mechanic Spare Parts.
I know there. I know there. Used to be close to my former house. Kubo.
Okay, yeah.
What
So
happened there?
okay, the man is actually an electrician. The soldier met the first electrician. He said he was busy. I think there's something he wanted them to fix in his car. So he actually directed the soldier to another person. I really don't know. Something happened and they got into an argument. And the next thing, the soldier actually brought out the knife and stabbed the man. Maybe self defense, you understand? So the people actually, his colleagues surrounded the place and they had to burn the soldier car. They burnt the car. The soldier actually ran for his life. So they are trying to see how they can identify the soldier because he ran and he didn't come back. And the man is already dead.
What
That's
is
what happened.
going on with our soldiers? The military as a whole.
Embarrassing. So the
We
police
saw
that
the other one at Barnes, right? In
yes.
Abuja as well. And now we're not seeing the Kubo scenario. This is not a good thing. It is not a good thing at all. And then just yesterday on our headlines, we see the reps, our dear honorable members, applauding, glorifying our military. Anyway, we'll be looking at this shortly, but we already have seated. Like I said before, we have a lot of issues coming in from Lagos and other places. The outbreak of cholera, that is something we should be looking at today, and it's so worrisome that I don't want to believe it's already out of control, but we can see some of the headlines already. I know we have a lot of our major stories today talking about, cholera, and on the news as well. The only thing we hear today is cholera, and already we have with us Comrade Dr. Harrison Ejirogene Aja, President, Association of Resident Doctors, DELSUT, Ogara Delta States. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I'm happy to be in your show again.
Same here. Always a pleasure to have you, sir. How is Delta State today?
The other states there, the troubles that everyone have in Nigeria today is the rising inflation, increasing poverty, and the fact that from the health sector, people can hardly even access good health. They can't even buy simple malaria drug at the chemist or pharmacy shops because the malaria drug that you used to buy 800 and now sells for 2,800 to 3,500. That's astronomical, and the salary has remained the same over this period of time. So you see that the people are likely going to be sick. They will not even go to the chemist or the pharmacy to get drug, not to talk of coming to the hospital. And this is a huge problem for the Nigeria populace. I think government should come in to save the situation because For us, we may be able to solve some of these issues ourselves. I mean, as doctors, perhaps have a little more spare, but this is not true for other um, populace. I mean, the other Nigerians who earn below 30,000 naira or 30,000 and below. Anybody earning less than 100,000 naira now can hardly survive. That's the true situation of things in Nigeria, in Delta
Anyway,
State.
we're going to get into that proper. It's quite a shame, the other day we saw on the news as well that, in fact, one of our major, story that now there's emergency at different hospitals, especially the government hospitals, where the scarcity of medicines, scarcity of drugs, because they are not able to buy them. They are very way too expensive. And now I don't know what we're supposed to do at this point as a people, as a nation. But now let's talk about, like we saw now, as you can rightly see on this is the Nigerian Tribune. And of course, the main headline is talking about cholera death toll hits 21 in Lagos. Cases rises to 401. Now, doctor, what is cholera and how worrisome is this?
Okay, cholera is actually a fecal oral disease that affects the gastrointestinal system. When I say the gastrointestinal system, I'm talking about from your mouth to your anus. That's the gastrointestinal system. So cholera affects it. Cholera is a bacteria which it's named Vibrio cholerae. There have been 200 types of cholera that has been found. However, the two that has caused pandemic about 7 times in the world is Vibrio cholerae O1 and Vibrio cholerae O139. These are the two major types that have caused pandemics. You know what? When I say pandemics affecting more than two continents as such. Now, what we have is that we're having epidemics, as it were, where the disease is affecting more than two states and all that. So currently, we are having another epidemic in Nigeria where more than 11 states have been involved in this cholera. Like I told you, it affects the gastrointestinal system, and the way it presents that you have very severe watery diarrhea, and this leads to dehydration. And after the dehydration, if the patient does not get adequate fluid replacement and electrolyte and fluid replacement in time, they die following hypovolemic shock. Well, that's what we call hypovolemic shock, when your fluid in the body reduces below your heart can manage, and then the heart goes into shock and the patient dies. So the fact is that one of the major problem with cholera is, like I said, it's a fecal oral. When I say fecal, from anus to mouth, fecal feces, oral mouth. So it's from anus to mouth disease, meaning that somebody who had cholera or a carrier we perhaps has gone to toilet, did not wash the hand very well, maybe because there's no running water, maybe because he's using a latrine instead of using the water system and all that, and therefore the person goes to make food for everybody. They eat. He has transferred the cholera from the anus to the mouth of other people. So that's why we call it fecal oral disease.
Now, apart from what you just said, are there other causes, to cholera, or this is just the main, causes of this disease?
Diseases do not just enter the human race without a source. These bacteria, they are living things. They want to actually survive the way me and you want to survive. All right. Mosquito wants to survive the way me and you want to survive. Typhoid wants to survive the way me and you want to survive. These are different organisms that God has created. All right. So they are trying to survive, but in their trying to survive, if they enter the human body, they may become disease process to us and may even kill us. And that's how the major source of cholera gets getting into our body is when you have poor water system. Like if you go to advanced world where there is poor adequate waterborne system, sanitation, good water, you will hardly have cholera. But in areas like underdeveloped nations where there's no adequate pipe-borne waters in the communities, no adequate food sanitation, then the chances of cholera, or when you have overcrowding, these are the things that actually lead to cholera disease, as it were. So your ability to have adequate pipe-borne water to all homes, adequate water supply, adequate food and sanitation of food, then you actually may not have cholera. You can hardly find cholera among the very rich people who eat properly made food, who eat food that are made with pipe-borne water and good sanitation. You hardly find it among them. You will see that among people when there is overcrowding, like what happened in Lagos recently. I think it's a Salah break. The overcrowding in Lagos has led to it. You understand? So, it's breaking out from Lagos to other states, as it were. So, the thing about cholera is, first of all, you want to break the chain of how it gets into the human race.
It's very worrisome when we look at the death toll as of today, this morning, across the major newspapers we have. They are all talking about, the cholera outbreak and, of course, death toll, especially in Lagos. And we saw the outbreak before the Salah break. That means there was something that went wrong even before Salah. And now, how is it, transmitted?
I didn't
Apart
get
from
that.
what you just said, how is it transmitted? Because the number at which, we're seeing in Lagos and even across to other states now is very disturbing. Are you there, doctor? Okay, I think we have a little bit of network issues with our doctor. But from what he has explained so far, it's quite disturbing, that and we can see also if you go to
All right.
the Vanguard newspaper. Okay, doctor, you're back.
Hello.
I was
Yes, yes.
asking, how is cholera transmitted from one place or
Transmitted.
one person to another? Because the numbers we're seeing on the dailies this morning, even prior to Salah, is quite disturbing. So we had this, outbreak, and the rise already before Salah break came, and that we are now adding Salah to it, and now not just in Lagos but across every other state. And so it's
About
very
11 states already
disturbing.
now.
Yes, it's very disturbing. So how is it transmitted from one place or from one person to another? Was it what you just said, or there are other ways also that this disease can actually be transmitted?
Yeah, like I told you, cholera is a fecal oral disease, meaning that the way it can be transmitted is either through maybe pure water that has been made. This pure water thing, everybody says it's pure water, but it's not pure. Somebody can just get to one corner in his house, uh, put water together and start sealing it in small, small cellophane bags, and you say that's pure water. Now, that's one of the sources. It can be a water that is not purified and not sold to the people. Like a bottle water is very expensive now. It's about 300 to 500 naira. So you see people who may actually go for pure water, and the poverty index that is increasing is one of the main reasons why this cholera is increasing among us, because people want to go for the cheaper goods, and the cheaper goods are actually not well prepared. Like the pure water, like I told you about the pure water, not well prepared. It could be a point where people can get transmitted. Then food. The next thing is food. The kind of food you whether big food, what about food? In as far as the person that is making it, actually, we have carriers of cholera who may have the disease in their body, but they don't actually get sick of it. Those are non-clinical carriers. So it's those kind of people can make food. You see them very healthy, make food, and anybody that eats the food will get the cholera. So it's the major means of transmission is via food and water.
That is, I'm just wondering, because I know it will be very difficult to avoid, since it's something that has to do, with food and water, and these are the things we take on daily basis, and
Very well.
that is where the fear is.
Yeah.
And of course, we're talking about rainy seasons as well, and now we're talking about flood water everywhere, so people get
Mhm.
access, people
Yeah.
get contact rather with these things. So I don't know
Yeah.
how we're supposed to manage the spread. But now, doctor, let's talk about the symptoms. What are the symptoms, associated with this cholera we talk about?
The major symptoms of cholera is that you have watery diarrhea. There are many other things that will cause diarrhea, but this particular type of disease, the diarrhea is watery and it's profuse. You just see the person pouring out water from the anus as if you are peeing water. So that's one of the major signs. There are likelihood that the patient may have small abdominal pain, but that's not really very classical of cholera. And there's also likelihood that there might be involved blood in the stool, but it's actually when it becomes very severe. So the first symptom is when you start having frequent stool, watery frequent stool. That's very classical of cholera.
Hmm.
Actually, from the thinking, immediately you start having watery frequent stool, do not wait for anything. Start rehydration. That's the first way to avoid this death from cholera. Immediately you start rehydration, immediately you have start frequent running stool. Because some people will say because they are having running stomach, they don't want to drink water. You're going to kill yourself. You must restore the water that your body is losing. The two things you want to restore: water and electrolytes, like sodium, potassium, like calcium. These are the electrolytes in the body. They are very important for our body to function. So when this happens, you must ensure that we are restoring both the water and we are restoring the electrolytes. And that's why something like oral rehydration therapy or oral rehydration salt solutions are very important in management of cholera, before we talk about the antibiotics that you want to use to manage them.
All right, doctor. Now let's talk about, the disease itself, this cholera. How serious is cholera? Because most of the time we see that, I don't know why the patients, some of them are actually, at what stage do we get to something like this we'll see now? How serious is this cholera we talk about?
For children, children, the three major things that kills them is pneumonia, which is infection of the lungs, malaria, and then dehydration. These three things. So you see that the people that die quickly are actually the children age group and maybe the very elderly. These are the two major groups. They become frail when you grow this elderly, become frail. Sometimes you will not be able to go and to move easily. These are things that work against the strength of the elderly. So the cholera is serious depending on the kind or the type of cholera virus or sorry bacteria you have. Some of them, the biofilm, they have, we talk about the cholera. I said the Vibrio cholerae, they have Vibrio cholerae O1 and Vibrio cholerae O139. This one have biotypes. There's a biotype that is very, very pathogenic that if you get it, if you do not take action to rehydrate yourself immediately, it doesn't waste time before it kills. So it depends on the pathogenic type you get of this bioform, O1 or O139. It can be very severe if you get the pathogenic type.
And now, with the way we know, yesterday also, different people were actually calling on the federal government to declare a state of emergency on the outbreak of, cholera. With the way it's going now, what do you think will happen if not properly controlled? Because we know Lagos already, we're talking about, a population of a people, and a lot of people we easily get in contact with this disease. We're talking about rainy season where water is everywhere. We're talking about, people buying public food, public water, and of course the cost in hike, of course, of goods and services will make people, to go for alternative options. What do you think, if not properly controlled? Where do we go from here, doctor?
Actually, declaring a state of emergency will be trying to ensure that people get potable water supply and adequate sanitation for food. The environmental health workers have to come in, ensure that our environments are clean, ensure that we get potable water to the people. You cannot declare any other emergency. Are you going to say people shouldn't move because of cholera? It's not what's what
Ebola.
airborne disease. It's not airborne disease. It's not a disease that you actually get by contact with the person. However, if somebody has maybe the person's stool did not wash their hand well, and you shake that kind of person, because we shake hands a lot. All right. If we shake those people, we may actually get that bacteria into our hands, and then our people, we just get to the roadside, you get buy something like cake, meat pie, you just put it in your mouth. You have actually collected the cholera from that person by handshaking alone. So if person did not actually after stooling did not wash the hand very well, you are likely to actually catch cholera by shaking hands with the people who use their hands to clean their buttocks. So that's another way to actually get the disease. So government, the way is to increase sanitational control.
Awareness.
Yes, awareness, exactly. I thank you for so much. It's a sanitational awareness for all Nigerians. That's very important at this point in time.
Okay,
If I
doctor.
must go, when
Go ahead.
malaria started, more or less, I think it was in the UK where malaria started. The way they were able to or discover malaria, the way they were able to, that is why they call it mal area, because it's dirty area. Mal, MAL, is dirty area, dirty area. That's the malaria, as it were. When they discovered that it was due to dirty area, what it just did was sanitation. Immediately they did sanitation, malaria went away. I mean, they didn't see it again, because you will break the circle of the organism. Immediately you break the circle, the organism cannot survive. So what we need to do is to break the circle, and then the organism cannot survive.
Now let's talk about the cure to this malaria, rather this cholera.
Cholera.
The Yes, how is the cure? How's the process like? At what point do you have to go to the hospital? At what point do this patient turn blue? That's what I heard. At some point they start turning blue. Now take us through the process, of treatment.
Okay. Cholera, like I told you, is a gastrointestinal disease. We usually can say it's gastroenteritis, all right? Meaning that more or less like inflammation or infection of the gastrointestinal system. And I told you that the gastrointestinal system is the connection between your mouth and anus, where you eat food, the food is digested and then sent to the upper parts of the body, then feed the other part of the body so that it can get energy to survive. Because without energy, none of us can survive. Now, in the treatment process, immediately you see the symptoms of frequent stooling. You have had three stool frequently, maybe within within an hour or within 2 hours. Three frequent stools. You should be in the hospital quick. If you cannot get your oral rehydration sort at home, in short, I don't even advise that you stay at home. If you get three frequent stool, watery stools, go to the hospital. Let them admit you, let them rehydrate you, and they'll start antibiotics. All right. The disease is curable. It's not like it's not curable. So it's very much curable. Simple drugs like tetracycline, like doxycycline, and ciprofloxacin have been found to actually kill the organism. So immediately you get to the hospital, they will rehydrate you very well, give you antibiotics, and the patients get well.
Well, doctor, in as much as it's curable, the fact that at some point patients will have to be quarantined because from what you've said so far, is something that can be easily, transmitted.
Yeah,
Talking about poor hygiene. I think I
yeah,
love the way, I think Guardian put the story. We know that Vanguard, Punch, the Tribune, and of
yeah.
course, the Guardian, they are talking about how poor hygiene, food inflation,
Complicate cholera
complicate
outbreak.
cholera outbreak. Now we know that there are a lot of factors now from what Guardian is telling us this morning. But in as much as there is cure, I think the fear is that at some point you have to be quarantined. At some point, people could just die from it. And of course, and it's more worrisome that we've now seen the outbreak crossing. We've seen it in Lagos, Ogun Rivers, and
Even
some
in
other states.
Delta, even in Delta, it has
Are
been
you
found in Delta and
serious? So we
Rivers.
have it
Yeah,
in Delta State.
yes, they've seen some of them in Delta too. They are it's it's moving because we are always transiting, we are moving. People, Lagos is like a central place where from Lagos everybody move to all other parts of the country, because the major ports in the country are in Lagos. So everybody that wants to bring in anything from outside, we actually land in Lagos and then move to every part of the country. So if anything is happening in Lagos, it will reach every part of the country. You remember when Ebola actually came, it was also in Lagos. You remember Dr. Adedevo, So the whole thing is about your transiting and the fact that you are going to be meeting people, shaking hands with people, buying pure water, buying food prepared. You don't even know how to prepare those food. So definitely it's going to move across the whole country if we do not curtail it in time.
All right, sir. Can we say there are other things that are not, people now from the outbreak, people might still want to, just be worried even when there is nothing. So apart from, cholera now having these symptoms, do we have any other disease? Does it lead to any other disease? Cholera as a disease now, does it lead to any other thing eventually? Or who are
Yeah.
people, yes.
Okay. First of all, I wanted to answer one question when you said quarantine. I don't think you really need to quarantine. When you say quarantine, you put the patient in a
Okay.
secluded place, you wear your personal protective equipment like gown, face, and all that. We don't really do that as we do in COVID, all right? Because it's not an airborne disease, so you really don't need to do that. However, you need to actually have your personal protective equipment like face masks, like your hand gloves. You should all be gloves so that you don't actually pick it. And immediately after you use it, I mean, the doctors and the clinicians that will be treating these patients should actually use personal protective equipment, but not like wearing those big things that we wear for COVID-19, like Ebola, like Lassa fever. We really don't need that, all right? But it's something that everybody should be afraid of because it won't take time to kill. Immediately you have the cholera and you have the virulent type, it if you do not actually rehydrate yourself before you say jack, you patient will be gone because fluid keeps us going. If blood is not sent to the brain, and for blood to go to the brain, there must be enough fluid in your body, which water is one of the things that makes up the fluid in our body. So you may not see, the heart may not be able to pump blood to the brain or the organs of the body, and therefore the patient can die easily. So it is very important to emphasize that it's a serious disease and people should take it serious. People should act immediately. When you have more than two frequent stools, don't stay at home, especially when you have no means to manage yourself. Go straight to the hospital except you want to die. Some people maybe want to go quickly to heaven. Maybe that way they want to just use it. Otherwise, you should go straight to the hospital so that you don't leave your loved ones. So it's very important that we emphasize that if they have more than two frequent loose stools, watery stools, you should be going to the hospital.
Now, doctor, just before we let you go, we're seeing a story. The main headline here: the writer says federal government orders water analysis as outbreak spread in Lagos, Ogun, Osun, Cross River, activates emergency response for 5 hospitalized. And then we also saw here that on Vanguard, when you look at the Vanguard, the writer of the main story here is saying that LWC issues red alerts over untreated water in circulation. Now, I think government is focusing the energy on water, right? And you talked about food as well. Somebody might want to, have this disease and be a caterer making food. You're getting a contact to pastries and other things that you can easily just buy and put on your mouth. Now, how do
Mhm.
you think we can control this? Because I think it's not, from what you've said so far, the cholera outbreak is not basically about water alone. We're talking about food as well.
Yeah, government is taking the right action by ensuring that water is analyzed. However, we are talking about in Nigeria that is about 250 million people. How many government staff do you have to actually go around to get this water analyzed and purified? It's a serious problem. It's not going to be an easy task for government. However, we must start from somewhere, and it's very important to start from somewhere, especially from Lagos, from where the cholera seems to be spreading to other parts of the country. Food must also be taken care of because there's no way you're going to say, I told you that if you could aura, anybody that's go to toilet, sometimes we use toilet roll, we just clean our buttocks, and we don't even wash our hands. Straight, you go and make food for somebody. You definitely will pass that disease to the next person, and the next person, anybody that eats the food. In short, there was one time typhoid was very common in the US. There's one woman they call Mary Malon. She's called Typhoid Mary. because they found out that everybody, any person that came to our shop to eat, got typhoid. And so it is with cholera. Because it's fecal oral, anybody that is a carrier or has typhoid may not have the symptom, will not have shown up. She is now making food for people. Anybody that eats the food will come down with the disease. So as we are putting force in trying to ensure we analyze, purify our water, we must find a way to also purify every food that our people eat, especially public and commercial centers where people eat food.
Now, doctor, now as a doc, me, I'm not actually a doctor, but I think I will want to advise. Maybe this is the reason, I really do not like eating out. Most time we like doing, in as much as sometimes you can control, you have to travel, you have to eat out, and of course you can't always go with food and water everywhere.
Everywhere.
But
It's not possible.
yes, but of course, let's try as much as possible. I think boiling of your own water as well, as for you're home from home
Very
to
well.
work, we go a long way as well. And then limit contact, like what we used to say. But doctor, leave a word for us because we're talking about a major outbreak, and now we've seen that we're talking about over 7, 6 states, 8, 10 states already. As a
11
doctor,
states already now.
talk to Nigerians.
To my fellow Nigerians, I want to plead with all of us to be more cautious with what we put into our mouth. And one hand washing is one very important way to prevent diseases. We shake hands everywhere, we touch handles, door handles. You before you enter an office, you want to touch a door handle. A person that has maybe had a stool before, clean the anus with toilet roll, may have handled the door, and you not touch that door handle. Then the next thing you get food without washing your hand, put it in your mouth, you have already gotten the disease. So we must be cautious and do proper hand washing. That hand washing that we talk about in COVID era is still very important in cholera management and prevention. So we must do proper hand washing before we put anything into our mouth, including pure water. As it were, as much as possible, avoid pure water for now. As much as possible, avoid pure water for now. As much as possible, avoid food made by, I mean, those corners. You see people, they are eating food. You see where they are washing the plates. It's just a bowl. They will use that bowl to wash many plates. This is going to be a means to distribute the organism, as it were. So anytime you get to anywhere, you see that where they are washing the plate is one big bowl, not a flowing water. It is likely that is a position where you can get cholera from, as it were now. So we have an epidemic going on. We must do everything to protect ourselves. And one of the most important things that you can do, avoid pure water, wash your hand before you put your hand into your mouth. Nothing should make you put your hand into your mouth except you have washed your hand. This is very important for our prevention and for us not getting killed by cholera. God bless Nigeria.
Yes, God bless us as a people. And we've known now that doctor has said that cholera is not actually a death sentence, unlike, believe. People just feel, oh, federal government should declare emergency, they should be quarantined and all that. So when I heard the quarantine, I'm like, okay, maybe this is another Ebola era and all that. But he has said, we've heard from, he is an expert, and he just said that it's not actually a death sentence if taken care of on time. And that is the thing. But doctor, even though it's not a death sentence, how long does it take to cure, the disease?
Usually immediately start rehydration. Anybody that is going down before will come up. Immediately start rehydration within few hours, maybe 2 3 hours, because like I told you about fluid, our body is just reliant on fluid, and fluid carries the food, carries everything to the different parts of the body. So if we start proper rehydration within hours, the patient gets better. Then the treatment for antibiotics treatment
Okay, doctor, you were
commences
saying.
within few days, maximum.
Go ahead, Mary.
Okay, I wanted to
Hello,
ask
go ahead.
doctor a question. You were saying that once you notice you are beginning to, I think maybe having this watery excrete, right? Like 2 to 3 times, you should rush to the hospital. But I noticed that in some cases, at least for someone that already passed out due to this cholera issue, they said the person was feeling weak, and immediately the person died. So what about situation whereby the thing happens and the person is feeling weak already? How can the person go to the hospital? Because I wanted to know, is it something that once it happens immediately it will just take the person's life, or you have chances to go to the hospital once you have that cholera?
My dear, thank you so much. Cholera does not do that. I mean, you just I just got cholera and it felt weak and died. No, cholera doesn't do that. Cholera, the way it kills is because dehydration. Check it online. How it kills is dehydration. You go to stool, you stool, and you're not replacing it. You get dehydrated. You get hypovolemic shock, and hypovolemic shock is more or less like the heart is unable to pump enough blood to the different organs of the body, and then the body goes into shock, meaning that the heart is not able to do its job effectively, and the patient dies. There is nobody that says I have cholera without stooling. It's not cholera. Something else killed the patient.
Okay.
Something else.
Okay. I wanted to
Yeah.
be clear because it was like the person was so weak immediately and the person died. I was like, this is something that just come and take the life of the person
No.
immediately. No time to even go to the hospital and all of that. But thanks, I'm
No. No.
clarified.
It's not cholera. It's not cholera.
And doctor, don't forget, sorry, after, of course, my last question. Don't forget also, you talked about somebody, stooling, watery stooling and all that within, you know, within
Few hours.
to back few hours, and they are supposed to immediately when they notice be getting hydrated. So no matter what, they still have the strength to go to the hospital. Bro,
Yes. Get
yes,
hydrated.
okay, but
Drink
don't forget
water.
also
Just
that. Go ahead.
you must. You see, maybe you are stooling. Don't say because I'm stooling, I don't want to drink water. That is the mistake many of us make. Because you feel that if you drink water, you will steal the more. It's a lie. There's a process that will go before you stool again. All right. Before you even stool, your body will assimilate some of the water. There's no doubt that when you have gastroenteritis, the assimilation process is reduced. However, you must drink enough water whenever you are stooling. This is the only way to stay alive. The only way to stay alive is drink water. Because
But
like I told you that it's not only water, we need water and electrolytes. Go ahead, my dear.
doctor, there's this belief that I've had for a very long time that no disease survives under fire, right? So I feel like
Fire.
yes, no disease survives in fire. That's why they'll tell you
Okay.
we're Africans, even if there's a bacteria in this thing, when you cook it. More reason why you see a lot of people boil water, right? They'll say boil the water so that any germs in it will die off. So if the cholera outbreak as a result of maybe feces in the person's hand and the person didn't wash their hand properly and prepare a meal, I feel like as long as you've cooked that meal, right? It has boiled and it has gone through the fire process. How comes the disease is still there? It's still active to affect other people.
All right. Some of the organisms are very, very resistant to heat, to even some of the antibiotics that we use. There is every living thing. One of the characteristics of living things is that we have survivability as part of us. We want to survive. So when the disease finds out that this is what you are doing to kill it, it creates a shell, a harder shell than it had before, to ensure that that thing that you used to kill it will not kill it. And that is why we talk about antibiotic resistance. It works for some organisms. Heat does not easily kill them, except you are able to heat it to 100 degrees Celsius and above. Most time we don't do that. Most time the food are halfly cooked. So if the food that is well cooked may likely not transmit the organism. But sometimes the food is half cooked. Those food that are half cooked may actually transmit the organism. So organisms are making every effort to survive as you are trying to survive. And that is why that you may have even cooked the food, you may still see that the patient will come down with the cholera because the organism actually found a way to keep her alive in the heat.
And
Do you
I
get it?
feel also that, Mary, sometimes when people even cook food, it's not about the cooking. The person that cooked the food might still be the one to serve the food. And this
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about hygiene as well, the plates, the hand in touching, spoons and all that. I think these are some
Exactly.
of the factors as well. It's not basically about the
Only the
food
food.
and being
Mm.
cooked. We'll talk about people doing pastries, cakes and all that, meat pie, egg roll. People can just touch and pack them with their hands, and you buy and you eat
Mm-hmm.
the rest. So this is
Mm-hmm.
even fruits. We talk about fruits as well. Nigerians are so careless. Sometimes they buy
That's
fruit
very
and
true.
the next thing, without even washing, they start
Washing it.
eating. And so
You're
these are
making
some of
sense.
the things we should look at. We should look at for. But doctor, just the last question. Now there are other times so somebody eats something and they start reacting. They start having runny stomach. Watering. Passing out watery whatever
That is
they've
true.
eaten. Yes, stool and all that. Now, would you? How would you not tell whether this is normal, you're just reacting to a food, or you are having cholera?
All right. Because you're not doctors, because you're not a nurse, I think the best thing to do as of now is when you have frequent watery stool more than three within an hour, go to the hospital. This is what happens. Immediately you stool the first stool, it may likely to be form stool. The second one becomes maybe watery, but not that watery. The third one, you will be making effort to stool, but nothing is coming out. Just pim water will be coming out. You know that the system is not, there's nothing in the gastrointestinal system to even pull out, but body is just pressing the remaining water in your body out. So these are very perilous time for Nigerians. So the best thing to do, whether or not it is food reaction, whether or not it is water reaction, we don't want to care whether it's cholera or not cholera. Just go to the hospital,
Go to the
be properly
hospital.
diagnosed, and be taken care of. It doesn't take anything from you. It keeps you
That
alive.
is true. That is
Precautionary.
true.
We must be precautionary at this point in time.
But is it associated with vomiting, throwing up?
Not really. Not really. Not really. It's not. It's not really. Mm.
Thank you so much, Doctor. It's always a pleasure to have you, and our guests, also our viewers, rather, would have learned something from your broadcast this morning. Thank you so much for coming on air this morning, viewers. We've been on the show with Comrade
You're welcome.
Doctor Harrison Ejirogene Aja, President, Association of Resident Doctors, Delsut Ogara in Delta State. It's like a vanguard, how do you like guardian, this say it's that is a time bomb waiting to explode. So every Nigerian will have to be careful, like what he has said. First of all, you have to look out for yourself before the doctors will even come. Make
Mhm.
sure you make that move to meet them. You don't wait
And
until
drink
you're
water.
totally.
Drink water. Always have water. Drink good water. Don't drink water. As it's if you're having stool, don't wait to go to the hospital. Drink water before you get to the hospital. Keep alive.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much. This will mean so much to a lot of people out there this morning. Of course, I was even confused when I saw people that when some people say it's quarantine, people say, uh, you know, uh, even agencies already calling on federal government to declare emergency. I was scared already because I have a lot of family back in Nigeria, so I'm so scared. But at least I'm relieved now that once you're able to take some precautions, you will be fine actually. And even if you have the symptoms, you still have time to go to the hospital. So it's not actually a death sentence. Well,
Mhm.
thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you. Do have a very nice day, sir.
You too.
Okay, viewers, I'm kind of relieved, I'm relieved, when they say now where your treasure day now, there where your heart they day. So I have my family some back way at home, and the issue of cholera is back and forth. Especially when we're not talking about the media flashing it left and right. It's worrisome, I was so disturbed. In fact, I was just telling somebody in Nigeria this morning, please, oh, you see somebody vomiting, stooling, because that's the mindset I had and all that. But I have been educated this morning, and I'm hope also that you have been educated. You already know what to do. Nigerians sometimes we play too much. People just buy things and they eat, and people say I wash my hands too much. Even in London here, my friends will say your own is too much. You do they wash hand, but you will not understand the fact that I can't buy fruit without washing properly. Sometimes I use a little bit of salt and warm water, just wash and raise. I do. If you know me, you will know that I don't buy food out. If you know me, you know that I try my best. I don't want anything that will break me down. Because I don't. I always want to avoid hospitals. So at the end of the day, when you have your family somewhere, you will still want to look out for them. And so I'm just hoping that Nigerians will take this broadcast seriously today. They will try as much as possible, to do what they are supposed to do, stop eating anyhow, especially people in Lagos. These waters are not pure. They're just calling them pure water. Somebody goes to their house. Yeah. The other day I saw a report my colleague did going to somebody's bathroom, public bathroom, filling water for people to buy. And so these are some of the issues. That's why I say go out with water. Except of course you're traveling, you're going to another city, then it's fine. But if you're within your terrain, please go out with water. In Abuja, I used to have a lunch box where I go to work with. I have like 3 can of water. I have food. I have fruits as well. So you can. I am not always. There is no how you catch me up somewhere that I'm not supposed to be. It's not pride. It's me looking after myself. And so even my younger ones, I've actually inculcated them into that lifestyle, and I think it's actually helping them. I'll still call them now after the show. Look at what doctor said. So do this. I don't want to hear story. Mary, you that you buy. The next thing now, you will leave that your go to NTA gate or somewhere now. You go and buy meat pie. You will buy this. Stop buying, I
Pizza is
beg.
even better. Food. Hmm.
Meat pie is
Anyway,
even worse because somebody will do meat pie. It's the same hand they will use and sell that meat pie. They will give to you. Even the cellophane they will
and
put it is the
I
same
ate
thing.
pizza yesterday. Oh.
You
Thank God.
ate and you keep eating.
It's God that's
Keep
protecting
eating,
me.
Mary.
I don't understand. It's God that's protecting me. I ate it yesterday because I didn't want to eat food. So I don't know. It's just God. What this thing that they are saying is actually making me to fear. Honestly, I was thinking that maybe anything that pass through fire, nothing will happen. Now I have that belief as a Nigerian person. As long as you have cooked that thing, nothing will
But
happen.
but but I think I once had a doctor on the head show that did say, is it a doctor in pharmacy that did say it's not every bacteria or organism that water or that fire can actually destroy or kill. So Nigerians
Even
say we need
I saw
to
somebody that those people that used to cut people's nails like on the road, that public
hey,
pattern.
that
God,
would be even worse.
I detect that thing with my whole life. So I saw somebody that was doing it and I know the person. I was like, oh my God. I don't know, like you don't like your life or you're not scared or anything. So the person was like, can't I see that the person will burn it first? That means I should tell them that he's a male. I should tell him that he should not go and barb his hair in the barbing salon again, if that's the case. You understand? Now, is it not the same clipper that they use for all of them? Now, that thing, as long as they are burn it fire, you understand? That the person will use that and burn it, that no disease survive under fire. I was like, wow. But even at that, I cannot believe that thing. I cannot allow anybody to even cut my nails for me. That one is unnecessary
No, no,
laziness.
no. I think
So,
it's a cliche, the African cliche that this is not a key African man. I go put her for fire now, he go die, they go cook the food. It's just a
so the
cliche.
whole cholera thing, I was thinking that maybe is as a result of maybe your anus, you didn't wash it properly and you get maybe you ate something maybe like a food now you didn't boil it. So I didn't know that even to cook to pass through the process of cooking and it will still affect people. It was today that I started having the fear about it. All this why I wasn't taking it that serious, to be sincere, but it is well.
Anyway, in a word is enough for the wise. We've done our best. It's left for you to do the rest. And of course, what is happening in Kanu, Mary? Wahala day, oh, wahala day. Anyway, I'll be joined. We'll be having Alaji Babangida Aliyu and the rest from Kanu. Honorable as well will be joining us from Kanu. They are all angry. They are all boiling. I need them to come here right now to calm down here. But it's
Why are
so
they
this
angry? Why
they're
are they
angry.
angry?
Some are actually against Sanusi, some are against Bayero. So I'm trying to bring
Anybody that the cause rule against, the other people must definitely be angry. So this angry part is something we cannot scrap out. You understand? So let's say that we should be waiting for a day like this. Something like this must definitely happen. Because if it does not go to the favor of the
But
person
my
we want,
problem is that does the Federal High Court actually have the jurisdiction, to entertain or to decide on issues that had to do with the chieftaincy or
since
the
they are not following the
emirates?
normal pattern anymore. It is the kind of people, you understand, their governor and all of, to me, oh, at the end of the day, let's take it down to the governor. What is he doing? Why would they allow this kind of thing to happen in a state where he's ruling? You understand my point? As long as they are not following the right pattern, you will not blame whatever process they are using right now. You get, because they know the right thing to do, and they were trying to change the pattern. If they don't do the needful now, definitely next time this thing will happen. Because at the end of the day, the governor, his tenure will expire, right? Another person will come in, and the person will bring whoever he wants to be the emir, which was not the norm pattern. It's not the right thing to do. So you will not blame the courts or whatever decision they're trying to take, because at the end of the day, it was them that started it. The governor, I believe, was the person that puts the Bayero that is there, right? And trying to bring the Sanusi to power as well. So do you think there's no way to work out this way? But if it's about the people getting angry, the people not being happy, it's something we should expect, because it must definitely happen. The most important thing is let it not bring or lead to the killing of people or fighting. You understand? That is the place that I feel like we should be more concerned about, because the people life is more important. They do this their political stuff, and at the end of the day, they boil down to the fact that the people, the masses tend to suffer for it. That is the part that me I'm not liking at all.
Anyway, we'll go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll be bringing the newspapers as some of our topical issues we're having from the newspaper, and of course, we will be bringing also Alaji Babangida on the show to talk about, how is the situation in Kano like this morning, how are people taking this, how they're reacting to this new development. Of course, we have the Federal High Court giving a decision, and then we have the governor also saying the Federal High Court does not have the power to interfere on the state
Why didn't he
matters.
do the needful? Why didn't the governor do the needful? Let's see it this way. Why didn't he do the needful? He was, to me, he was the one that actually brought these whole issues right now. He was
Is
the
it that
one that
governor or the ex-governor? I do not understand, because we also saw the ex-governor, dethroning Sanusi, and now we have another governor enthroning him again. So who are we supposed to blame? It's a political tussle, if you ask me. It's
that's what
greed,
I'm saying.
according to our analyst of
Maybe
yesterday.
I should
It's
not say governor. I should say governors. It is the fault of the governors. Both the one that dethroned him, both the one that is bringing him back. You understand? Both the one that put the Bayaro, because the one that dethroned Sanusi is the one that put Bayaro, and this one is coming to take him out to bring West Sanusi. So I know it's the political. That's what I'm saying. Your political issue, it should not boil down to the fact that it start affecting the people in Kano State. But you know that it's not. It will not be difficult. It doesn't hurt these people. They hurt them at all. Before you know, they start killing and all of that. So anytime they're doing this, their selfishness, their political stuff, and playing the politics and all of that, it should not affect the people at all. So at the end of the day, let's blame it all to the governors. You cannot say the federal high court don't have any rights. When people come in, they throw somebody, bring another person, and all of that. So that's just it. It is the right of
Or
the
you
court
don't
to do.
understand, Mary. It's not about whether they have the right. The law is the law. The federal
Yes.
high court does not have the right to actually, they don't have the jurisdiction to
So how can
interfere.
this issue be sorted out? How can the issue be sorted out? If Sanusi was dethroned and Bayero
Sanusi
was
said
there,
it already. Sanusi say he knows that anytime that another governor comes, a governor that is not in favor of this present governor will still come and dethrone him and is ready. So we've
so
seen that
but
the
with this
Kano,
pattern,
the Kano Emirate has turned to playground.
yes. So with this pattern, this issue will not come to an end. It will not end well. So even if you are
What,
saying that the
what,
federal government,
what,
the federal high court does not have any
okay,
right, how do
wait,
you
wait,
think
wait, wait.
this issue can be resolved?
What makes you think that even if Sanusi and the governor decide to adhere to the decision of the federal high court, and of course Ado Bayero is back to the main palace as Nadi Emir, what makes you think that in the future, because of what played out now, another governor will not come from nowhere and start, not even on Sanusi now, just start, because we had Babangida say on this show that it's not impossible that in the future he will become the governor, and the next day he will put his kid brother as the emir and nothing will happen. And so I think the matters of the emirates, traditional issues should be left for the kingmakers. I think there must be a way. I know where I'm from, in as much as it's the governor that comes to give, that mantle of power or whatever it is to the governor to install them. I also think that there are tradition guiding that traditional stool. So I'm thinking that they should not take the matter to that traditional level where the kingmakers will decide, because
So
there are people.
Where were the makers when Sanusi was dethroned? See it from this point.
That is because the
That was where
governors are,
when
hold on,
Sanusi
hold
was
on, Mary. That is because the governors are overstepping their bounds. Me and you know, we know Nigerian governors. Nigerian governors are even overstepping their. See, that is why I asked our guest yesterday. Do you think there should be a law? We should separate the governors from local government from traditional schools. They should not have anything in common.
that's
Let
it.
it be as if is because do you know I there's this king in Delta State that was actually installed, and at some point he was supposed to go and perform some traditional rites. He came out with like, I'm a Christian, I can't do that. So people were saying, okay, you were a Christian, why did you agree to sit on the throne there? Because we know that as a king, these are the things you must do. And even me, I was against it. The Bible said that give what Caesar to Caesar, and anything that will lead you to sin, cut it off. So if you knew very well that I don't want to go and sacrifice some things, I don't want to go and be a traditionalist and be doing some things or wear some kind of outfits to say, okay, I want to do this ritual. Why did you agree on becoming the king, since this is the tradition of these particular people? But because he had the backing of the governor, he started misbehaving. I think
Yeah.
until something strange started happening to him, he now went back to do that thing. So I think our king, we should find a way to disconnect our political elites from traditional stools, from traditional matters. We should also disconnect them from the local government. This is only way the states will move forward. But the federal high court coming to discuss issue of tradition is unheard of. Anyway, we'll go on a quick break now. When we return, we'll go quickly into the newspaper. What's happening in Nigeria? We have some very topical issues this morning. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back after the break.
Ooh la la! The second edition of the Nigerian Week London 2024 is here.
It's another blend of arts and culture, entertainment, business, and networking activities.
A week-long extravaganza showcasing the best of Nigerian music, dance, craft, fashion, and businesses.
Taking place at the prestigious Lighthouse Theatre, 262-274 Camberwell Road, London, SE5 OAY. Date 22nd to 28 July 2024.
Tickets are available at everbright.com. For partnership and sponsorship, please visit superiorradioandtelevision.com.
Or call +4407 459 513 619 or +4420 3623 8755.
Email info@superiorradioandtelevision.com or visit our website www.superiorradioandtelevision.com/Nigerian Week 2024.
Come and experience a nation's culture that resides in the heart and in the soul of its people.
Looking for a home away from home in Abuja? Look no further than SRTV Shortlet Apartments. Our fully furnished apartments offers everything you need for a comfortable and relaxing stay. Unwind in spacious rooms with exquisite ambience. Cook delicious meals in our well-equipped kitchen and relax in our comfortable sitting rooms watching your favorite shows. And guess what? 247 Wi-Fi available. But that's not all. SRTV goes extra mile by providing a car to take you around town during your stay. No need to worry about navigating public transportation or hailing taxis. Explore Abuja at your own pace. Book your SRTV Shortlet apartment today and experience the perfect blend of comfort and convenience. You can reach us by calling this number 07062379915 or 08070827331.
Hello, viewers. You're welcome back from that quick break. If you just joined us, this is Wake Up Nigeria. Of course, we've been talking about a cholera outbreak in Nigeria, and of course, the power tussle at the Kanu, prestigious Kanu Emirates. I don't know what's going on. We used to look up to the Kanu Emirates. I don't think such a thing will ever happen in the Ife Kingdom or Benin Kingdom or even Sokoto, the Sudan of Sokoto. I don't think we will ever see such things. I don't understand what's going on. The Emirates has actually turned to a playground where political elites come to, throw you out, throw you in, and whatever, controlling our kings. I keep saying it. Kings are not people that you're supposed to be seen talking to anyhow.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have people from Kano joining us pretty soon, but let's go quickly to the papers and let's know what's coming from our papers this morning.
Okay. We start with the punch. And the big story on the punch, cholera. Death toll rises to 37 as Lagos records 401 cases. And the writer says federal government orders water analysts as outbreak spreads in Lagos, Ogun, Oshun, Cross River. Activate emergency response. 5 hospitalized. And that story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. And here is a story that says federal government probes 2.7 trillion naira subsidy debt and list auditor general. And that's on page 17. Naira slums loans push public debt to 221 trillion naira. This is coming from DMO, and that story is on page 18 of the Punch newspaper. Africa Global Logistic Bed in Nigeria unveils strategic transformation pillars, and that's on page 25 of the Punch. NNPC Total Energy signed $550 million gas production deal, and that's on page 17. Emirate Tussle Kanu plans appeal as court sacks Sanusi, and that's on page 2. And we have a story here that says protesters demands El Rufai trial for alleged 423 billion naira theft, and that's on page 28 of the Punch. Lagos APC mourns member as Hajj vet cross 1,000, and that's on page 6. Dollar raises FBNH stake with over 18 billion naira shares, and that's on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. And these are all the stories we have this morning on the Punch.
Good morning. We'll go back to the punch, but Mr. Babangida Aliyu is here. Good morning, sir. Okay, I think we have network issues with him. Hopefully, we're going to bring him back while he's stable. And there's a story here as well. This one that Kanu is actually planning appeal. Anyway, the governor already said that judgment is not standing. So that judgment does not hold water. I just hope, like what Mary said, that we're not going to be seeing crisis in that town. Innocent citizens, residents will begin to suffer for what they know nothing about. And that's why actually like bringing Babangida. I think he's neutral, so he's not on the side of this Sanusi or Bayero, so he's always at the middle. And that is why I want him to always speak to us here on the issues of the Emirates, so that at least a neutral person that can tell us the truth about what is happening in
That's it.
Kano. Good morning, sir.
Morning. Jesse, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you today?
I'm fine.
I can see that you're already out, you're on your way, so I'm not going to take so much time. That's why we're having the echo, because you are not in the house.
Yeah, I'm not in the house. I'm already in the car. So I went out for my
Okay, what's
normal.
happening in Kano? How is the city today? How are people reacting to the decision of the Federal High Court, the judgment rather?
So as you heard in the media outlet yesterday, so the judge has already presided Justice Liman. So, but up to now, what we thank God, Kano is doing well. People are on their own normal activities. So after judgment that Pebo Amina Adu Bayero over Sanusi Lamido and Kano State government, So we heard in the night that the Kano State governor has ordered for the demolition of Nasarawa Palace, where Amina Ado Bayero located. So I went there yesterday in the night, but I have seen the bulldozer behind the Ado Bayero's house. So, but up to this morning, I visited the area again, but I found that nothing happened.
I just feel like there is problem because
There is a
now that the governor is now taking move to even demolish that palace or to throw Ado Bayero out. How do you think people of the state or Ado Bayero followers will react to this? Don't you think the governor is calling for a major crisis in the states?
So what? As I know Kano very well, I was born in Kano. My father, my grandfather, my grand grandfather was born in Kano. So as I know the tradition and the normal people, normal faith of people of Kano. So as I know them, they will not allow that to happen because Ado Bayero has major supporters far than Sunusi.
Babangida,
Yeah.
let's now talk about I don't know where to start in all this, but do you think that the federal high court has the jurisdiction, has the power to decide over traditional matters or chieftaincy matters of the states?
Already, the judge, the presiding judge, Justice Liman, has already ruled on that for the last two sittings. But he declared that the higher court has a jurisdiction to proceed.
So where do you think we'll go from here? What do you think will happen now? Now that okay, the federal high court has dethroned Sanusi again, and but the state governor is now insisting that Sanusi remains the emir of Kano. What do you think will happen moving forward?
So that means that they are not abiding by the rule. The rule of law is the court. So you must abide by the rule of law because the law that install you as a governor and give you power. So it's the same law that give court uh, power to decide over everybody, every Nigerian. So they must abide by that rule because we thank God that the security agents has already doing their work without showing sentiment, without receiving the directives from state governor. So they are just doing their work as the court decided. So they have gave Ado Bayero protection. When you go to the Nasarawa house, you will see security agents, army, police, civil defense, and so on, DSS, and other security agents. So as they have surrounded the Ado Bayera's house, so nothing will happen, inshallah.
Babangida, I'm very, very worried because we're talking about, people who have followers. We're talking about, Ado Bayero, Emir Ado Bayero has his followers, and of course, we have Sanusi also having his people as Emir as well. Don't you think, should we be worried that at some point these people are going to clash, meanwhile, bringing chaos or mayhem to the great Kanu, kingdom?
Quite certainly, Ado Bayero has a supporters. Since before the demise of his father, when he was a district head, so when the Daba was taking place during his late father. So Aminu Ado Bayero has more supporters than his father because he's very popular in Kano State. So people were wishing him since before he became an emir. They are wishing him to be an emir of Kano. So Sunusi has no any large supporters because only the Konkosias people are backing him. So if the Konkosia people uh, will full back their support for Sanusi, so Sanusi will be there without anybody behind him.
Anyway, we do hope that Kanu will be peaceful. We do hope that I don't know what we are supposed to do, but Babangida, let me just ask before you go because we're going to bring you on the show tomorrow with other analysts from Kano as well. Because of time, we won't take your time. I can see you're
Oh,
on the road as well. But just before we let you go, does the kingmakers don't have a say in this?
pardon?
In Kano Emirates, we know that we have the kingmakers, right?
I can't hear you now.
Can you hear me now? Okay, I
Hello?
think I think it's network issues
I can hear.
because you're on the road. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm saying that in Kano Kingdom, all right, network issues, and then hopefully we're going to bring him back. But now let's look at Daily Trust and look at this, this interesting picture and headline we have there. And of course, I do know also that look at these great men we see here this morning. Two great elites, two great emirs, two great people, individuals. What could be the problem? And also, they are cousins. Funny enough, they are brothers. But today we are here, a power tussle over who is the emir and who is not the emir. Can you hear me now? Hello. Okay, network issues. We're still going to have him on the show tomorrow, and of course, we're going to have more analysts from Kano because I think I love the way Daily Trust actually put this story that says, Kano Emirates cut leaves contenders in limbo, and the writer here is saying that says Governor Yusuf's action of May 23rd null void. And another one says that ruling affirmed Bayero's disposition. AG asked police to evict 15th emir, and of course, there's a story here that I'm more concerned about from a professor that says judge decisions strange, confusing. That is coming from Professor Yadudu. That is where I am, confused myself about the Kanu Emirate. There's confusion everywhere, and we just need her to resolve this confusion so that the state can move on peacefully. Babangida, because of your network and you're on the road, we have to
Okay,
let you go. Tomorrow,
okay,
we're going to bring you on the show again.
okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So, Mary, here we are. So I
But
don't understand the governor, but why would the governor want to you go and demolish, destroy where Ado Bayero is, or even make attempt to put bulldozers around? I think that is going too far. At least
that's
he's
it.
still a citizen. He has the right. He actually has the right to be there. I don't understand what's happening in Kano. There's confusion.
If he has to leave the whole of Kano for them, for peace to reign, because I really don't understand if he's going to this level right now, then there's a problem. Because what if the person wants to retaliate in one way or the other, and sometimes they cannot get back. At the end of the day, they cannot get back to the governor. You now start fighting the citizens. You now start fighting the people in Kano State that did nothing to you. That is that same thing we have been talking about. So this will not get to the masses. Because sometimes when you do people something, they want to retaliate in one way or the other. If they cannot get back to you, they get back to other people. As long as you are the governor, you are the one ruling these people. Maybe if they start to torture them, it will get to you, and you will understand that okay, there's no peace in this land. So that's it. I don't think going to his house want to go and destroy and all of that. I don't think it's
we
even necessary. Of
we
course,
really do hope that Kanu, the kingmakers, the elites of Kanu, and of course the we know sometimes we have elderly ones as well. We do hope that they are going to comfort, they are going to wed into this to make sure that this shameful issue is resolved once and for all. But we have not seen the last of this though. We know that a lot is still going to happen today because the governor is not telling the federal that you do not have the right to interfere in my state. And this is where we're going to have the major problem. Anyway, we move on. Mary, can you take other stories as we wrap up the show?
okay. So let me see the Daily Times.
No, take other stories we have here on the guy on the Daily Trust.
Okay, still the Daily Trust. Okay, we have another story that says journalist found dead in Abuja, and also there's a story that says governors turned varsities into constituency projects. It's coming from ASU. Army acquires own surveillance helicopters, and you can find that story on page 26 of the Daily Trust. Barricades on Rivers local government secretariats will remain. This coming from IGP, and that's on page 11. Irate youth kill man accused of blasphemy in Bauchi. Super Eagles drop 8 places in latest FIFA ranking. Cyclist jailed for slapping seizing gun from policeman in Jos. And that's on page 17. And these are all the stories we have this morning on the Daily Trust newspaper. And this story here that caught my attention, the one of the journalists that was found dead in Abuja. It's happened around Pape area. I don't know, Pape is becoming something else. We understand that yes, Pape is a place where we have a lot of courties and all of that, but it's becoming too much. At first, there was a time he escaped this, and he escaped it. I think he was stabbed in his spinal cord, something like that. He was being treated. Now this one that happened recently is for the fact that he was coming back from work. I think he had a night broadcast and he finished by 9 p.m. only to resume 2 p.m. the next day because it's like a shifting. It's a radio house job. So he closed by 9 on his way back home in Pape there, and he was stabbed all around his neck. They stabbed him everywhere in his neck. And before they rushed him to hospital there in Cuba, they already found out that he's dead. And it was like his people that wanted to collect his phone, like all these bad boys that wanted to collect,
Of course.
yeah, they wanted to collect phone from him. So when I saw it, it was that, but although he has escaped such before, but you can't say that why was he not being careful enough? You can't tell. It's 9 o'clock too late for a matured man, like he's a matured person, to actually close from work and go back home. Like I really don't get the purpose of a thing is becoming too much. It's just too
The thing is that people who work journalists, these are the hazard of journalism we talk about. Of course, we were taught in school the hazard of journalism. And I'm happy, I don't want to say, but that we still have some media houses that, work and close normal time around 5. People will not know how important this is until you find yourself in a media house where you have to close 10 p.m., 8 p.m. The country is so risky. The one chance issue, people standing at every junction, on the bridges, looking for who's the next person to attack. Especially when day is just getting dark, they are already stationed position everywhere, looking for people to rob. This is so disheartening. This is somebody going for. Well, if it's me, well, I can't say. Depends on the job. I know media job comes with pressure, and they don't negotiate. I've been a media practitioner for years, and I can tell you for free that they do not negotiate anywhere in the media. Once they tell you this is how it is, this is how it is, or you walk out. And because of course the lack of job will make people want to still hold on. And it's really sad. I would have said that the first time he experienced that, he would have still not now be going to work, rather sleeping
it's a
over
shifting
in the
job.
office,
It's a
sleeping
shifting
over.
job. That particular time he was on a night shift. You can see that the next day he was supposed to resume 2 p.m. So that 2 p.m. there's no way you will go home that night. You will definitely leave before night. It's on a shift. There are people that broadcast in night, you know. So when I saw the news that he escaped it before, and I was like, this kind of thing is something that will make you to just say, man, let me just leave this job. But he didn't know that it was going to take his life soonest.
That's what I'm telling you. I remember then I was working, there was a day we were chased. We actually closed very late at night,
And you
from
continue.
that around between Rita Loring to Apo Bridge. We didn't
Wow.
get a taxi, and and my colleagues were actually going to Kuba. The only cab we saw was to Kuba, and I was going to Yanya. And if you see where they chased me from that half of that place to Apo Bridge, I ran down the bridge. There were a few people there. Everybody started shouting. The guys, they had to, they just ran and entered that bush there. So it's disturbing, it's worrisome. And so when we see people working the normal time, federal government kind of hour, you should be grateful that you have a time like this, a time frame. Normal, if not the media, you're supposed to work around the clock. There is no break. That is how it's supposed to be, because the news keep coming, the news must go on as well. Anyway, this is sad, and we do hope that the police security agencies will actually give justice to this journalist that was actually killed. It's sad. And we do hope also that other people will take precautions to watch how the time they go out and what they do. Even though your job entails you staying very late or all night, I think companies as well should make provision where people, if it's too late, they just have to lay back the next morning they go. Or you have a personal Uber, but how can you do Uber when your salary is not much? These are some of the issues we talk
That's
about
it
as
now.
well. There's a story here as well that says Irete youth kill man accused of blasphemy in Bauchi. I don't know when these people, these religion people, these northern people are going to move past this. You know, somebody says something, and the next
Not
thing
that
you want to kill the person. This
But you
mindset,
know
I
that
think.
we're doing it and nobody has been fighting them or stopping them. The other time they killed the other girl, the brother of a girl, did anything happen to them? No. We only rant and rant and rant on the media. And it has happened and it has happened, right? Before the OPM had to help and come to and
It's really
replace them.
disheartening.
So,
I'm not happy about it.
but the fact that they keep doing this thing and nobody can stand them or fight them back. That is why it has to keep happening. You understand? It will always happen because nobody can stop them. You just see will complain and you still see people supporting them despite this attitude that they are displaying. You see people supporting them that especially the other time that they killed that girl, they were like, why was she talking anyhow? She was not supposed to talk anyhow. All those kind of these are what you say for taking somebody's life. So that is why I'm not surprised I'm seeing this. I'm not surprised because they do it and nothing happens to them. That is why you will know that we don't even have law in this country. It's a lawless country because you will not see them saying they want to put these people in order. You understand? And call them to justice. Never. Nothing will happen. They just do whatever they want to do and they go scot free with whatever they want to do. And nobody can stand. Even if it's religion. Most times when they kill these people, they know the people that killed the people, right? And nobody comes. We have police soldier that go and start chasing individuals, killing individuals, and things like this will happen. Soldiers will not take action. We have the police, things like this will happen, they will not take action. You get? But when it comes to other things, you just see them staying back. Can imagine a soldier that is stabbing somebody, or you see they are killing another person for blasphemy, and they will not come and take action for that. That is why it keeps on happening repeatedly because nothing can be done to stop it, and it's bad. It's really bad because why are we Nigerians, whereby some people their life is not regarded, they don't see them as humans. It's making no sense at all.
It's sad. I'm quite worried that, we now live in a country where because you say something, the next thing you're stoned to death, the next thing you're killed, and nobody does anything about it. I believe that their God can also fight for itself. God is God. You do not fight for God. And Daddy Chris, nice to have you, sir.
I'm here. I said I have a few minutes. I can see you guys are doing it. So what is happening in Kano?
Yes. We had two guests already, a doctor on cholera issue and of course Kanu issue. We're still going to be talking about the Kanu issue because reports reaching us now from Kanu is that the governor actually ordered the evacuation of Ado Bayero from the mini palace, and Babangida said he actually drove there last night when they had the news. They got there and they saw caterpillars around the place. It's as if they want to demolish the place. And of course, but this morning they went there as well. They've been monitoring the place back to back, but they've not started that. And so they are all worried, because it's not conflicting, the judgments are confusing between the federal high court and of course the governor, now orders coming from the governor, and so we don't know where to go from here, or the people of the state, they are just floating as well.
Yeah, but a few days back, the court said that the right of this emir has been violated, and that they should pay him some compensation.
10
Is that
million
correct?
naira.
Yeah, and so the governor is not obeying anyone. He's above the law here, because I don't understand. I
Yes, the
appreciate that.
governor is not obeying any law as it stands now.
And if he's not obeying any law, then he can be impeached too now. Is the governor
So
above every other?
because the governor is standing on the ground that the federal high court does not have the power, the jurisdiction
Yeah, but
to
that's a different thing.
entertain,
I mean,
to
Princess, I can
entertain.
understand that, but there's a court judgment saying that he has tampered on the human right of an emir. That is my concern, because that is a different story from what we have now. As of
Funny
now,
enough, funny
it's
enough,
not
that,
it's not
that
adding to it.
funny
Yeah.
enough, Daddy Chris, funny enough, that particular story has come and gone. You know why? I think Ado Bayero is not even interested in 10 million. He's interested on the throne. So it's as if you're trying to compensate him with chicken change, money to go and buy kuli kuli. At the end of the day, they are not talking about the throne. Who is the emir of Kano? That is
Yeah,
what is on the
and
news.
now my concern, Princess, is if that is not, as if that is not enough. Now the governor is going further to evacuate him that land.
Yes.
That would be a massive abuse of human rights on the part of the king, and
Why,
that is my
why,
concern.
why, why, why at the federal level they've ordered, police to leave the main palace, leaving Sanusi all by himself. The state also now is ordering, everybody in the mini palace to leave as well. They are evacuating as well. So we're having these conflicting orders. Where are we? Who are we supposed to, when it comes to? I don't know. In fact, I am looking for a lawyer now. Maybe you should tell us that, Chris, as a lawyer, who are we supposed to meet to decide on such issue? We're talking about the issues of the emirate, the Great Kano Kingdom. Are we supposed to be going to federal level, the state level, or the kingmakers? There must be somebody who will have the final say in all this.
Yeah, but this is supposed to be within the jurisdiction of the state, so we expect the state high court to act here. But obviously, once the federal is interested, it becomes a different issue. That of the federal will definitely supersede. But the question is, which court is higher? I'm going to ask questions around, and they will advise me. But I don't know which one will actually be superior here. But the higher court will be respected more than the judgment of the lower court.
And we know also that even though the courts at the state level has the final say, but as we can see that, the
No, they don't
governors
have the
always have
final
this
say. The one at
influence
the
over
federal
the
level,
judge.
Princess, it's a question of the hierarchy of the court. It's like when case, and you understand how it's done, even during the electoral processes, the case will go through the state, and when you're not happy, you take it to the federal, and when you're not happy, you take it to the Supreme Court. So those are things you go through. We know that the federal will definitely have a higher jurisdiction, a higher power. They will see the higher court. And if that is the case, I am confused why the governor is still doing what he's doing.
Adamant.
It's scary.
It is very disturbing. Like I said, tomorrow we're going to have a full house from Kano. Apparently, we're going to be having a lawyer as well joining us so that we understand, the nitty
Yes.
gritty of what this is all about.
Yes, we work to get in a lawyer who understands the Nigerian judiciary proper, because I don't understand how the court can rule and another court is overruling. In fact, it's a shame on the judicial system. And
It's
I'm
a shame on
asking the
the
chief
judicial
judge.
system,
Yes.
it's a shame
The
on our
chief judge.
political elites, and it's a shame on the great
No,
Kanu
I think
kingdom.
the judiciary should be firm here. If the executive arms of government has failed us, if the legislature are fooling themselves, what is happening now? It means that we don't have any arms of government that is actually functioning
And
because
it's working
it,
appropriately.
yes, because
It's,
there's no
it's,
reason, there's no
it's a
single
shame
reason
indeed.
where there's a chief judge of the federation that allows a judgment of these two courts to go and he's saying nothing about it. We should expect him to have exercise some power and say this is the way to go, but I think he's mute.
It's disturbing, it's very disturbing that it increased. Anyway, like I said, we had Babangida is even on the road because they said they'll be going back and forth to make sure they put eye on the mini palace for nothing strange to happen. I think they are all, in as much as you want Sanusi to be the king, according to them, you do not need to dehumanize the other one
I
because you want
agree.
Sanusi
I agree.
to
I
be
think
the
I think
king.
that is the fear. That is my concern here. I'm a big supporter of Sanusi, but to see the other king, he's a king in his own right. And the unfortunate thing, these are cousins, and
That was
bringing
what
this
I
kind of,
said. Two
yeah,
brothers.
yes. And what kind of family trouble have they created? The next emir will come from here, and whatever they do now, from what I heard, their children are married to one another. Obviously, they are Muslims, so cousin marriage is there, and you are creating this kind of enmity within the family, the royal family for that matter.
Like one of our one of our listener wrote now said that one of the comments said that the governors have actually destroyed this great kingdom. This started as a political tussle, a political fight, and now we are now at this level. How do we control it? Is what we're now looking at.
They
If
cannot
I were
even
to be Sanusi, if I were to be Sanusi as an honorable man, I will walk away. You have always been away anyway. So what's all this?
they cannot control it. How will you walk away where the governor is by his side?
Exactly. Why do you expect Sanusi to walk away
That's
here?
all. But Mary, also we know that Sanusi came out saying openly that he knows that if another governor comes tomorrow, there's this possibility that he will be dethroned again. So you already know that it's going to be back and forth. So is he worth it?
He started from the governors, not governors,
Yes,
from the
but my
governors.
concern is even yeah, I'm listening to the governors, but I'm concerned, and I'm going to really shame on these two emirs really, if they allow themselves, to be played by these two governors. One, they're from a royal family, they are brothers, and this is unheard of for the two of them to fight over a throne. If it's a community fight, I can understand, but these are family, people from the same family, they're cousins, to fight and allow two governors from nowhere to come and push them around and destroy a kingdom like the Kano kingdom is shameful. And it's shame on these two guys, really, for allowing that to happen. Let's forget about what the governors are doing. Can't the royal family come together and say, this is not done, we want to resolve our own
It's
issue?
not right.
Yeah.
Look at political elite. We know politicians, governors, they are criminal. They don't do
Yes.
anything for the good of the people. It's always
Mhm.
to get at somebody, it's always for selfish reasons. And then you're being at the middle, caught in the middle. I thought Sanusi is an intelligent man. That was what I said before. This Sanusi is somebody we used to look up to. He has intellectual and all that, a very sound individual. How come
I think
is it?
Sanusi's point here may be that, Princess, let's give Sanusi some credit. Sanusi say, you, my brother, why did you even accept it? When I was pushed away, why did you accept it? I think this is where the trouble is coming from. You understand? If my
So
brother is a
even
cousin,
so
yeah,
so 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 even the brother had not at that point rejected, I think another emir would have still emerged.
yeah, but no, the truth is, we can say, look at what the Benin people did at that time. When they dethroned Obaveram and they sent him to Calabar, they told the Benin people, now your king is no more here. Make yourself another king. The Benin people said, no, we cannot have another king as long as our king is still alive. You understand? That is something that the palace should have done. If they had Sanusi as their own, as a king, dethroning him and putting your brother as another king is even wrong. This is where Sanusi issue is coming from. That's why Sanusi will be happy to take it back. And now look at where we are. We're in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, We pray that the sanity
We,
returns to the land quickly. Yeah.
yes, we pray that these two brothers, cousins, elites, powerful individuals, intelligent men as well, will come together and find a pact. Because I was just trying to ask Babagida a while ago that at this point now you were confused, the state is confused, the residents are confused, even the emirs, they're confused.
Yeah.
What are the lawmakers in all this? I think they should walk into this. I think we should find
Princess,
a way.
come on, what can the lawmakers do here? If the federal government is paying deaf ear, people are using, because that's what is going on. There are some people using some people, fighting some people. This governor was actually, his election was annulled. This was Supreme Court that brought him back. So many drama has been going on in the state. So there's too much politics going on. Like I said, I'm looking at the family to come together and say, this is unacceptable. He's my brother. We're not going to do this. Whatever you want, we're going to resolve this as a family and put an end to this.
One
Because
must
if
walk
you,
away regardless,
yes,
whatever
princess,
happens,
if you
one
if you
must walk
send this
away.
guy out of the land now, if they send this guy out of the land, hey, where will we be? He has his own supporters. We've no, this is not going to work. I think they should allow the
So
mother to
so
die.
so 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 maybe that the two of them should walk away. Let's
No,
have a
no,
new
no,
emir
princess.
then.
You know why it happened in my place now. What we did, we didn't go about fighting the other one. We left him unrecognized. Yeah? Everybody go to Sanusi. The other one is unrecognized because the government, the money, everything will be going to West Sanusi. People will begin to navigate to West Sanusi. That's a peaceful way of doing it. But sending the guy away to where?
I
What
said the
has he
two of
done?
them should leave. Let's have a new emir
Yeah, yeah.
then.
Yes, the question is, Princess, where you sending him to? To where? What is his offense? That he was made a king and now you don't want him?
It's the same
Has he
thing that
broken any
happened to
law?
Sanusi. He was made a king and it was the throne that he stepped on toes.
It's mockery. It's mockery. Anyway,
Anyway, we can go on and on, but like we said, we're going to be having a full house tomorrow, viewers. We're going to have the full canoe here, even lawyers, so that we try to, weigh these options. I don't understand why the state and the federal keeps confusing the people. A great kingdom such as Kano is now a standstill. We have political fights with different governors now. We're now having brothers, the emirs, fighting. What do we go from here? We look at the sports quickly before we leave the show. We know that we have quite a lot as well, but because of time, we will have to go. Thank God we had two guests already today, and so we have to just look at the sports. What is trending there? Mary, what's happening?
Okay, the big story says my road to MPFL title win. That is Fidelis Ikechukwu. It was a sad day for me as a coach because I didn't expect that thing like that would happen when two big teams play. Okay, this is coming from Fidelis Ikechukwu. And that story is on page 6 of the Punch Sports Extra. Ajibade hungry for UCL success. And that's on page 7. Dane paid for 3 loans. Denmark won. And I think England won as well. And that's on page 3 of the Punch Sports Extra. European Giants battle for Ndidi. And that's on page 7. Arsenal hold Nico Williams talks. And that's on page 4. Milan in 100 pounds Leo Delima, and that's on page 2. Lukaku awaits Napoli deal. That's on page 2 also of the Punch Sport Extra. Copper appointed Leicester manager, and that's on page 7. Draper beats champion Ankaras at Queen's tourney, and that's on page 7. And the last story here, Ocon George targets Olympic sports. And find that story on page 2 of the Punch Sports Extra. These are all the stories you have this morning on the Punch. Although one of the recent news I saw is our NFF, they're actually seeking for a coach like now. You understand? There's
These
one
are
that
the
actually did
mistakes
it.
they make. These are the same mistake they want to go back to. They want to rush and bring another coach now. They will rush and tell
Yes.
you deliver, deliver. And if the person fails to deliver, alele, the person leaves again. Can't
That,
Super Eagles calm down? Can't
no, they
the
cannot
NFF calm down? Calm down
they cannot
and hope for a coach. Go, they should go through the normal process. All the time they are looking for backyard window to pass.
you know, at this point, you can't really blame them because they don't have that luxury
They
of
should,
time to
they
calm
should
down and
look
look
for
for.
any other person
But
to
they
follow
will want to be
the.
ready for the next match.
Is
Now
what
we
we're
are coachless.
saying. They have
We
a
don't have a
captain. The captain should be their coach. The captain should lead them. They should go with that coach.
they don't want that now. They don't want that. Sure, it was because they wanted to bring somebody over Finidi. That was why he resigned. He didn't want any other person. He wanted him to be the only one in control. So at this point, I know they are going to rush to just sign anybody that is ready. That's what they want to do, and it might not actually sit down well for us. It might not go well for us because they need somebody that really understands what this Super League is all about. That really know how to put these people in place so that they will actually perform well. Because they have been underperforming, and that is due to the fact that I feel like even the coach and the players they don't have a mutual understanding of whatever they are doing. So this is what we have been avoiding because see, this is what will happen because they want to get ready before the Rwanda match comes to play. So they might just pick anybody and put them as our coach.
Anyway, let's relate this story on the Daily Trust to the spot now that says Super Eagles drop 8 places in latest FIFA ranking. Do you think this has to do with their latest match or the fact that Finidi actually walks away? Mary, are you there?
Match because the two for the fact that we've underperformed for the two first match that we played. I'm having network.
Okay. Anyway, in as
I'm
much
having
as we're
network
looking,
disruption. Can you hear me now?
yes, go ahead.
So so far
Go ahead, Mary. I
can you
can
hear
hear
me?
you. Go ahead.
Okay, I said so far so good. They've not been doing well. So our ranking is actually very low. So I feel like if we can actually succeed, maybe winning Rwanda, we can come back. You understand? To our rightful place. But right now, I don't know. I don't know how they can get that coach. I don't know how these players the magic they can do right now. Honestly. But let's just be positive about everything.
Well, we do hope that the NFF. I'll keep calling them. I've been covering sport for how many years, and I'll keep telling them put your houses in order. That would be a good place to wrap up the show today, as we hope as well that in Kano there will be peace as well as in River State. We pray for peace, and of course, in Lagos State, this cholera outbreak cross to all the every other states. Will find people will take measures, precautions to make sure they avoid unnecessary things, and of course to look after for themselves and for their health, as for us to enable as expert or whatever everybody to leave this place of this outbreak, these serious issues we have now. I think when we start to take measures, put measures in place as well, and people adhere, like the doctor said, wash your hands. You kukuma know me before. I'm the princess of washing hands back and forth. I do hope that people will now see the importance of hand washing and the rest. So let's not take these things for granted. That would be a good place to wrap up the show today. Thank you so much for being on the show. Do not forget to follow us on our social media handles. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and of course YouTube. Leave us with your comments. We'd love to hear from you. Share this amazing content, and of course, subscribe to our page as well. Do not forget our magazine edition is always available for you to showcase your brand, your goods and services, your products, and your amazing self and career. All you have to do is to give us a call, and we'll be there for you. Don't forget also that we have our AB&B outlets all over Abuja. We have also in Lagos and here in London. Just give us a call. It's a home away from home, nothing but luxury and premium. You have the best well-furnished apartment, and of course, we have free internet and a car to help you explore as well. Please do well to reach out to us, and don't forget the Nigerian week that is fast approaching. We have a lot of events lined up for that upcoming Nigerian week. We have the Nigerian film screening. We have film, the movie industry already backing us up, and of course we'll be looking at the real estate sector. We'll be looking at agriculture. We'll be doing the Nigerian food show here in London, where Nigerian foods will be placed all over the streets of London, and of course we'll be having the award ceremony as well, where we'll be recognizing well-meaning Nigeria that have been so impactful over the years. Don't be left out. You can reach out to us. You can sponsor. You can be a major sponsor. You can partner with us as well. Just call us or send us an email today. Don't keep waiting. Thank you so much. Mary, it's Friday. What are you doing after work?
Okay. Which one you just asked me on air like this? Okay, it's Friday after work. Let me get back to the magazine. I want to transcribe something. And after then, let's see what marketing department have for us. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm saying after work today, don't work, don't go out late, don't go out having fun, don't go to your other side, daddy side very late. It's not safe. So if you want to go where everywhere is still bright. That was what I meant. And let's not forget that it's Friday. People have fun in as much as we say the economy is down. We still have people clubbing, people hanging out. But when you do that, don't drink and drive. Drive carefully, obey the traffic laws, and of course, be your brother's keeper. Be your brother's keeper. And most importantly, keep washing your hands. Whatever you do, wash your hands. Develop the habits of washing your hands. And please do well to go around with your own water from your home. Make sure the water is boiled, is clean. Like I always do while I'm in Abuja. If I'm in Abuja, I will always go around with my water, everything I have in my bag, going about. And so please, you can, if I can, you can. Let's make Nigeria a better place. Thank you so much for being on the show today. Hopefully, tomorrow we're going to do this again. And like we said, please be your brother's keeper.
Looking for a home away from home in Abuja? Look no further than SRTV Shortlet Apartments. Our fully furnished apartments offers everything you need for a comfortable and relaxing stay. Unwind in spacious rooms with exquisite ambience. Cook delicious meals in our well-equipped kitchen and relax in our comfortable sitting rooms watching your favorite shows. And guess what? 247 Wi-Fi available. But that's not all. SRTV goes extra mile by providing a car to take you around town during your stay. No need to worry about navigating public transportation or hailing taxis. Explore Abuja at your own pace. Book your SRTV Shortlet apartment today and experience the perfect blend of comfort and convenience. You can reach us by calling this number 070-6237-9915 or 080-7082-7331.
Inspired by Onexmos LCC in collaboration with SRTV London, present
Ooh la la! The second edition of the Nigerian Week London 2024 is here.
It's another blend of art and culture, entertainment, business and networking activities.
A week-long extravaganza showcasing the best of Nigerian music, dance, craft, fashion, and businesses.
Taking place at the prestigious Lighthouse Theatre, 262-274 Camberwell Road, London, SE5 OAY. Date 22nd to 28 July 2024.
Tickets are available at eventbrite.com. For partnership and sponsorship, please visit superiorradioandtelevision.com
or call +4407 459 513 619 or +4420 3623 8755.
Email info@superiorradioandtelevision.com or visit our website www.superiorradioandtelevision.com/Nigerian